G'day everyone, and welcome back to Timber Kings with me, Jay. We're up to episode 6, I believe, now. And in the last episode, we made quite a bit of money. Oh, what are you doing? That was not supposed to happen that way. I hate when the game bugs out like that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We made quite a bit of money selling metal and wood to Elm Creek. We definitely have enough money now to buy the wood turner, which is high on my priority list. The wood turner and the flooring factory, because we want to start work on the roller coaster, because that is a project that is going to take quite a bit of time and we need quite a bit of resources for it. However, my first priority is to make sure that we have enough wood at the lumber mill, or the sawmill, whichever you want to call it, to be able to keep production going, because it turns out that it goes through quite a bit of wood. I don't want to run out, especially with winter coming. I have seen a couple of other people, YouTubers. The snow actually gets pretty deep in the winter in Silver Run Forest, so I don't want to be getting stuck in the snow. Let me pause my harvesting for a second to go over a couple of administrative issues. Firstly, I want your input. Yes, we're going to start work on the roller coaster, and I'm sure everybody wants us to start work on the boatyard. So, should I continue to build up the productions for the roller coaster? Or, once we have the wood turner and the flooring factory out of the way, should I start looking to the future, because the boatyard requires wool to make fabric, and that's a fairly slow process. So again, I don't want to be caught later on in the game with no fabric, like boat. I've seen boats sitting there half ready to go, and people waiting on the fabric. In fact, even on my own, just my Let's Play, my experimental map, I have got the boatyard where the boats, like I said, and if you've seen my video of what's missing, I don't have the resources for the sail without cheating them in, because the sheep are going to take quite a bit of time to produce that wool. So, like I said, let me know in the comments which direction you think we should go on. I mean, we can continue to make a ton of money for right now, just focusing on metal and wood products. I think that should be enough wood. The other thing I have noticed, and I have been doing them on a regular basis, I've given up on contracts, with the exception of transporting wood. I mean, deadwood's a dead issue. It takes me about, and I don't know how you guys feel, but it takes me about maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on how hidden the deadwood trees are, to make $2,000. Which I really don't think is worth it. Rock removal's not bad, but we have to buy a skid steer. I hate to keep leasing one to make and I've seen rock removal contracts go up to about $5,000. But renting the skid steer really eats into that amount of money. It's not like harvesting contracts or agricultural contracts where you can borrow the equipment from the farmer for a reduced cost. So skid steer is on my list of priorities. It's just, again, leave a comment. Let me know how high on my list of priorities it should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish loading this wood up. I'll meet you up at the sawmill so we can see how much. I believe I have 10 tons of wood on the truck so far. And I'll meet you up at the sawmill and we'll see how full we get the sawmill with all this wood. Alright, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, here we are up at the sawmill. So we have 55,000 liters in there so far. And we have, well, let's check the trailer. We have 15.4 tons. So I'm curious to see how many liters that's going to bring us up to. Yes, I do have those little end bits. I don't mind. I did say in a previous video, don't use them, but that's for shipping containers because they affect the price of the wood you get from the shipping containers because they're not a full length. As far as your own productions go, you're not getting paid, you're just putting inputs in, so you might as well use them for that. Or, later on, I'm thinking about wood chips. Apparently, wood chips are quite profitable. They weren't that profitable on the other maps, but a couple of people have commented and say, hey, look at wood chips. So we are going to take a look at wood chips. Okay, so there we go. Full load, ready to go. Two more questions for you. Collectibles. Yes, we have found 6 of the 20 collectibles so far, which has helped fund, at least get us up and going. Comment-wise, I've seen, and not just for me, but other YouTubers as well, comments saying do or do not use the collectibles. What are your thoughts on collectibles? I mean, I'm kind of torn. In some ways, I think Giants put them in the game for a reason, so they're fair game to use. However, is there a point at which you should stop using them? Or are they fair game until they've all been collected? That's my question for now. My other question concerns, I'm about to do 2 log transportation missions, and I have noticed that they seem to spawn about twice a day, assuming you do them first in the morning, or they seem to spawn when you reload the game, if you've already taken care of them. Should there be a limit on the number of times I do them, or should they be, as I said, fair game? I don't know if this is a bug or Giants intended it to be treated this way, because, well, logging contracts and so on are brand new. There are no agricultural contracts. They're kind of worthless because the fields are so small. It's not like on Elm Creek or Obeilon where you had great big fields and you could make quite a bit of money off of doing the contracts. So did Giants put them this way to kind of make up for that fact? I don't know. I'm looking for your opinion. Alright, it looks like all our wood is being processed, and let's see where our... Okay, so 55, were we 50, I guess I should have got, well, I'm going to have to bring up another load of wood. I'll do that off screen, because we've been harvesting wood in every other episode. If you haven't seen how wood gets harvested, you're not going to miss much. So let me turn in these logging contracts, and then we will look at buying the wood turner and the flooring factory. And yes, comments on my driving are fair game. For some reason, I don't know, it's something about this truck, I tend to lose control of it. It's either I go too fast and I take the corner too quickly, but anyway, regardless, I am going to turn in these 2 wood transporting missions, and then we're going to go from there. I will see you in a second. Alrighty then, here we are at the wood turner. For those that missed it or don't know about this from previous episodes, we did this with the sawmill. We're going to do it with the wood turner too. They will buy wood, well, initially until you own it, they will buy wood directly from you. So they just took $26,000 worth of wood. Now we go around and we buy it, so we've just offset the cost for by selling 30,000. Essentially, it's down to 50,000. And let's turn it on. Wood is running. We don't have pepper grinders. Yeah, I guess why not? Let's keep that production active, because we can always make a profit by selling these to various other, businesses around the map that demand them. And it's not as though we're short of wood. We still have a ton of wood on our lumber claim, which we can harvest. Trying to think if I'm going to have enough turning room to get out of here, and I should be okay. Come on, honk honk. So the lumber mill's pretty much good to go. We should have product for at least, a day or two. And now the wood turner's okay. It'll give us enough shingles, because I was just looking what's required on the Giants blog post in terms of not shingles, but staircase railings. So I think we're good there for now. The only thing is how badly, let me just check the map again, 1 second. Okay, don't mind my horrible stacking job. I'm just gathering the last of what we had from, the last episode, what didn't actually get sold, and what got produced. And it looks like we can take this down to the flooring factory and at least get that started. Now, I'm not going to film everything today. Just like I said, my goal is to get a little bit more lumber for the... Oh, we forgot to turn in... Sorry, guys. We'll do that when we get down there. I forgot to turn in my 2 missions for the transporting of wood. But anyway, what I wanted to check was how many flooring tiles the first stage of the roller coaster requires. It doesn't require that many, so we have enough boards or planks or whatever they're called now to at least get started and get rolling. And that's what I really want the second half of this video to be about, is getting the roller coaster up and running. And I want to see how much wood we get produced between, well, it's 1 o'clock now, between now and tomorrow morning. Okay, so we made 30,000, which again helps offset the cost. Hopefully, because this one's expensive at 110,000, like I told you. Really, but flooring factory, planks, deactivate. Floor tiles. Okay, so it doesn't really require that much, which is perfect for our 140 becomes 180, so we're definitely going to have more than enough to cover at least the first stage of the roller coaster. And while we're here, and I remember, let's turn in these 2 missions. Collect. See, I told you, all that money we had at the beginning, I figured we would not be doing quite so well in the end. So I'm just borrowing the parking lot from the vehicle dealer. They have plenty of space and low inventory right now, so they don't mind, they said. Okay, on that note, I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and we will do a big delivery run. We'll gather some metal, we'll gather some lumber, we will see how much we need and how much we can sell. So I will talk to you guys later. See you in November. Good morning, everyone. It is now November, and we're going to go take a look at our productions in a second and see where we stand. But I am trying, for those of you that have been following along, this is the area I planted new saplings in. The problem with, oh, there's one. It's so hard to see, and I found that by, well, literally, I guess if it hadn't been for this grass growing a little abnormally, I wouldn't have found it. So there's one there, and I know I planted a couple more around here, and, well, back where we were, up here. And the reason I'm trying to figure out exactly where they were planted was because somebody left a really good comment, and I was just rereading the comments when I did my tree planting video, or my video on which types of trees grow the quickest and which ones are the best. And the really good comment was, plant X number of trees each month if you can, and you know, that way you will have a steady supply growing. So I want to plant some more trees this month after we've sold some of our productions, but I really don't know where to plant them. So let's take a look, and we will see what our productions have gone through. Okay, so the sawmill's gone through quite a bit of wood. It definitely needs a top up. Iron mine, not too, the metal furnace isn't too bad. That's not too bad. That could either do with some long planks or some more wood. Now the thing, and the floor tiles, well, it could do with some planks. I know we have plenty of those. let's go visit the metal factory first. The reason for that is I see there's 1,400, almost 1,500 in storage. So that means we have plenty to sell. So hopefully we can make a ton of money again with metal. There was one right after I stopped recording. Stopped recording last month. There was one metal pallet sitting there all by itself. So I put it in the low loader of the tractor, and I brought it over here so we can start work on the roller coaster. Now, as we just saw, the metal furnace is okay supply-wise. I think I'm going to take the tractor back up and no, I'm going to take it back to the metal furnace for now. Like I said, without knowing where we actually planted, that scratches my initial thought that flashed through my mind. Now, we know spruce, I mean, it's got a great big thick base when it's fully grown, but it really is very small and spindly at the top, so the last part of the tree doesn't give you nearly as much, which is why, as I explained in the previous video, we don't want to go planting too much spruce. But the thing I do like about spruce is it uses, and there's nothing on sale, I was just checking that, anything useful, it uses the old style tree planter, this one, the PL71. However, you can't buy pallets, at least I'm pretty sure you can't buy pallets of the new types of wood to fit that, unfortunately. Spruce, downy serviceberry is useless. Cypress is useless. American elm. American elm, believe it or not, gives a lot of wood. The problem is, just like oak, they are very hard to harvest. And stone pine is useless. So, yeah, that's all there is for these ones. The reason, like I said, I was looking, I don't think I finished that thought, at these old style saplings is because they're at least big enough when you put them in the ground that you can see where you planted. So unless there's a mod out there that allows you to add the new type of saplings to this, we are stuck using the small tree saplings. And again, if you've watched the video on what tree types to plant, we know that they don't actually start to show where you planted until at least, I think it's 4 months into their growth cycle. So it's going to be a while before we see where they are. The other thing, as I said, the sawmill needs wood, so I've cut some wood down. I should probably do a couple more just to be safe. Excuse me. That's gonna get stuck. No, it's not. Excuse me again. Okay, so once well, I edited out my coughing fit, but most of it that I could. But while that was going on, I loaded up another load of lumber to take to the lumber sawmill. Like I said, we can't afford that to run dry. And I guess while we're up here, we will see how much is being produced. But while I was loading up the lumber, I got thinking, you know what I really need? And I really need another truck to go and pull that flatbed trailer that we have. There was some fancy driving. Took out that cone as though it was nothing. Because at this point, we basically have to take our logs here, unload them, now I'm not sure what happens if you put too much in. If the sawmill will just stop taking them and they'll sit in the pond. Hopefully nothing gets wasted. This is all kind of new territory for me. I have done experiments like I said, which tree type gives the most, but I've never tried to overfill the sawmill. We'll see when it's done. Anyway, like I was saying, the problem is with this trailer, great, and yet we actually have quite a bit of wood to sell. So we have quite a bit of, or processed lumber, I should say, rather than wood. We just sold the wood. But I can't transport it back down the other way unless I go back and get the other trailer. Which I'm going to have to do. At least if I had a second truck, I could put the one on with an AI worker and send it back to base camp and have the other one driving in the opposite direction. So maybe that's a priority, is to get another truck. I kind of want to get one of the ones that came with the expansion pack, just so we're using those. But I guess we will see how much money we make selling our products. So, since we're at almost the half-hour mark, let me get loaded up, and then we will drive around. I'm going to drive around, I'm going to pick up the products we need, and then whatever we don't need, I'm going to see what the best sell point for it is. Okay, so here we are. I've started to unload the truck. As you can see, we were pretty much fully loaded. I did some deliveries along the way, and I picked up the staircase railings. So you can see we have some of the products we need already in place for the roller coaster. We're fine for metal. Staircase railings, well, we're a little bit low, but it's going to process what we have. Wood beams. The lumberyard didn't produce as many wood beams as I thought it would. Over a month's period, but that's okay. Okay, regular planks, we need 4 of those. Well, just over 4. Oh, we can put 5. We don't I've already dropped some off at the flooring factory, so we're good there. 1. 2. 3. 4. Yeah, see, there's a rounding issue. I put in for 1,000 and it said we had 999. So it's rounding down to the lowest instead of rounding up. Not a big deal. And what else do we have on here that's useful? Floor tiles. We only need 200 floor tiles. So a lot of this other stuff is going to be going to Elm Creek. There we go. So at least we've got that started. I'm going to load up the metal, I'm going to load up the train, and then we will see how much money we make from selling everything we don't need today to Elm Creek. Okay, here we are, fully loaded. And we have, well, I thought I saw it. Anyway. So what's left of the supplies we didn't need for the roller coaster are going to Elm Creek. I see just by supplying the roller coaster, I was just looking at the amount of money we had, and supplying the roller coaster, we did pretty well. So let's see what this brings us. Because I used some of the metal, I've only got 9,000 metal instead of 10,000. We have quite a few planks, some long planks, and some flooring tiles. I'm really starting to think that what I was told, that the metal furnace and the ore mine are a gold mine, they're kind of the secret weapon of the game. I'm really starting to think that is true. Here we go, we're almost. And the other thing I was thinking when we were driving past the Waffle Hut was bees. The Waffle Hut pays a premium for honey, and we don't have any bees yet, and they're fairly cheap to produce and maintain. So 162,689. So that's a tiny bit of money. That brings us up to $360,000, which, as I said, we can invest in other things. Yeah, the Waffle Hut. I was just looking at what they pay for some of the... Well, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. We've got some areas cleared out, maybe some greenhouses, and maybe some honeybees. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. We have the roller coaster started. Let's take a quick skip back there. Not the truck yard, the roller coaster. So it is slowly working away. We won't see any progress for a month or two, but it started. So, like I said, do I buy the second truck? Do I invest in sheep? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Take care and thanks for watching. Jay.